Hello and welcome. Over the course of December, I will be enjoying daily delights from this, the DeVere Yarns Advent Calendar. This is a very exciting Advent calendar as it has a spool of embroidery thread behind each window. My plan is to try each thread by sewing a corset flossing sampler. Corset flossing is decorative and practical embroidery stitches sewn around the bones in corsets. They help keep the bones secure and look pretty. I was introduced to the DeVere Yarns Advent Calendar from the video from Cat's Costumery. I was very excited when I saw they were selling them again this year. I'll include a link in the description to Cat's video and to the DeVere Yarns website. There are different options for the Advent Calendar, and I chose to order the one that was the mix of cotton, wool and silk, so I can try out the different sorts of threads and see what I like. The other part of the inspiration for this video is the Corset Flossing Sampler. In the middle of the year, Lina Piprek released her amazing CoCoVid video, Sewing a Flossing Sampler Victorian Corset Embroidery. In conjunction with her video release, she also ran a giveaway on her Instagram. And I was the very fortunate winner of this blank sampler as well as 2 spools of silk thread. While I have made several corsets, I've never done any corset flossing. So I decided to combine this DeVere Yarns Advent Calendar with attempting the flossing sampler. For lots of details and clear instructions from someone who actually knows what they're doing, I suggest you take a look at Lina's video. But for the moment, please come along with me on my first flossing adventure. I'm not entirely sure how this will work out, as I'll be getting 1 new thread each day, and many of the floss patterns in Lina's design use 2 or more yarns. But we shall see. Okay, let's open day 1. Christmas green. Pure silk, fresh apple, number 60/320. Oh, that feels nice. That feels very nice. Here is the sampler. It's wonderful. Lina's done a beautiful job. It's all ready to go with beautiful ribbons for all the boning. On this side we have the synthetic whalebone, and that's where we'll start. We've got our 2 bones which are next to each other. And I'm going to be marking on at the bottom where the bones are. Now I need to mark 2.5 centimeters up from here, from the bottom of the bone. So I just do a little mark in there. Next step, let's thread our needle. Okay, thread is ready to go. On with the thimble. And I really like this prim. Solid plastic there, flexible plastic this side. I find this thimble really works for me. So Lina said first we need to identify where we're starting, which is down here. So you poke a hole through and then turn to the other side, and you can see where that hole is. That's where you want to end up. Ending up close enough to around there. Okay, so I'm pulling that through so it's contained. And then following Lina's advice of doing a couple of small back stitches to keep it in place. And if you back stitch through the actual thread itself, that locks it in even more. I suppose that becomes a bit of a knot, which she said to avoid, but yeah, I can see the bulk. I can see why you might avoid that. Oh well, what's done is done, and this is a sampler. It's all about learning. So now I go through to the front at that point. I'm struggling. I might need to get my tweezers down to do this. Just feels beautiful. We'll just see how it goes. And then at that point there, we go to the back. So remembering that this is the bottom, I'm then going one stitch lower, so there, pulling it tight, so that's just a little stitch on the back, and then wanting to be parallel to that line. This is really tricky. I mean, I'm sure I'll get the hang of it soon, but my first one is quite tricky. Oh, come back, come back. It's a bit bitty, I must say. Ah. This has gone funny. On the back, got my line of stitches here and my line of stitches there. Oh no, it's getting really knotty. And then bury the tail. Okay, there we are. And that is first on that side. Not bad for a first attempt. So if I compare mine to this picture of Lina's, which is available as a link on her video, you can see I think she's used a tighter sort of thread than mine, and hers is lovely and neat, and mine is a bit bigger and loose, but that's okay. So I might mark this as being done with day 1 thread. Okay, I have now completed day 1 of my DeVere Yarns Advent Calendar Embroidery Flossing Sampler. Whew, there's a long way to go. Time for day 2. Ooh. Ooh, this feels coarser. This has got to be either wool or cotton, and I'm leaning towards wool. And if I can just push that up slightly, there we go. 2/16S worsted, 25 meters, in violet, 1601. For day 2, I have violet worsted wool. I won't try to match that to the green, but will skip straight to the V. I checked that my bone was in the center, marked the end, then measured up 2.5 centimeters on either side. I have fetched my pliers for pulling the needle through when needed. I secured my thread, then got started. From a distance it doesn't look too bad. So we're halfway, coming up the other side, and then coming up to meet where I was there. That one actually seems a lot easier to pull through. I'm needing the pliers less than I expected. So Lina made this, and it's 1.5mm stitches, which is what we're using for spacing. Okay, well, not bad as a second attempt. So this is what the back looks like, and this is what the front looks like. I quite like that actually. Rustic charm. Time for day 3. Ooh, more silk, I think. So pure silk, peach, number 36/20. Oh, that feels lovely. With my day 3 peach silk, I'm going to move on to this design here, which is the staggered V. Time for measuring, ending up at 3¼ one down from that, 3/4 down from that, and half there, which is the middle but just slightly off to the right, so that I can... Now I'm not doing this in quite the same order as Lina, because I'm trying to do the single colours first, because so far I only have 3 colours out of my 3 threads out of my advent calendar. thread. Very pretty. It keeps itself together more than the day one silk, which is much more open and bigger. This is a much tighter wing. It's quite nice. Time for day 4. Pure silk. Yolk number 1894. Time for the tulip. So we are day 4 doing a yellow tulip. I think I'm going to try today something slightly different and just use a grey lead as opposed to the dressmaker's chalk, because I'm not sure that that's disappearing, and I'm just going to try it with a grey lead. Special thing about today's design is that at 1.5 centimeters up, there is a hole in the bone. So you can see how that just goes through there. That can go all the way through. I need to mark, so it's from the bottom 1.5 to that, and then marking every 0.5 centimeter above it. So I think this may well take a bit of thread, so I might pull a bit more than what I have been off. So we once again want to come up at that corner. Okay, and then we're going to lock in to this by going through the hole, which hopefully is there. And it is! Winning! And then coming from a slightly different angle. At the same hole. Okay. It's not perfect, but I think I'm happy with that. Come up in the middle-ish. So we're going up to in here and coming out at the side in line with that. Doing a little stitch over the very top, down in line with this one, okay, and then up to here. So this is where we are at the back. At the back we saw the things, which is perhaps a little bit messy because I went back and forth. There's that center point and the final tie-off point. Hey, got 4 things. So I'd say overall I don't think I like this design with such thin thread, or at least not the way I did it. I don't think I quite managed to get a nice range. It's a bit chaotic in the middle there, which means it's a bit chaotic in the way it fans out, but still happy, making progress, and I think it's looking pretty. Day 5. So it's Mercerised cotton, antique pink, 2042. It's very smooth, very defined, quite thick. But I think for today, let's have a look at over some cording. Cotton over cording. Sounds grand. So the cotton is quite thick and is made up of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 strands. So time for 3 parallel stitches into that stitch there. Oh, this is a struggle. I think next time with cotton, I should do what I would normally do with cotton and split it in half. Oh dear, it's quite messy by the end there. Day 6. Ooh, I think this might be another cotton. Am I starting to get to know them? It says strawberry, number 12/21. It's silk, much finer than cotton. So this is tightly twisted and the second finest of the sizes of silk that I have. So what I've decided to do for today is to now start introducing a second colour, because I think this strawberry silk would work well for the petals of the little flower, and I can use some of the green from day 1 as the stem and leaves. So important to note, this is cane, so this is different. And we're marking 3 centimetres, 1.5 centimetres, and 1/2 centimetre. Here is where we draw the flower into the cane. going to take this to the center here. Once again, right through the cane. Okay, so I also need to add a line in the center where I want all the stitches to end. Let's try it. Oh, this may be too thin. Yeah, maybe I should have been trying something where I need to fill the area. But let's see what it does. So here we are at the back. You can see I made an error at one point. That's okay. It does go through the cane a lot. And this is the front. It looks flower-like, so you know, from that respect, I'm happy. So that was actually a lot of work and surprisingly stressful. I think I expected these to be getting easier by day 6, but I'm not yet quite in the stride of things. I think maybe because I haven't yet had consistent use of thread, everything's been new so far. But hopefully that will settle down soon and I'll start to get into my stride. Day 7. Pure silk, Roman number 6131. I think this is a itty bitty one. It's very thin. This is very thin. So this is what I've currently got as a comparison between them. So these 3 are the tight twists. These are looser twists. That's really interesting. A feather. You can show how feather thin it will be. Feather thin stuff. Okay, so 3.5 centimeters. So then we also go 1.5 centimeters from the base. So that's 0.75. Okay. As per Lina's instructions, I've put in a line of machine stitches. Okay, I think for this one, I'm going to have to leave a bit of a tail at the end that I can grab onto and then just trim off, because this is itty bitty. The bottom of the machine stitching. It's going to be very fine. Well, hopefully that's appropriate for a feather. I go down. So going to a V, put 2 stitches down. Cool. Okay, so then 2 stitches extending down, which to be honest, in this little thread, I'm just going to do as a little loop that I go around twice. And going back in where I started. So far I've got a little bird foot imprint. So we're going to come back up at that point. And going to this market side, and in Lina's video she did every 2 stitches, but with this thin thread I think I'll just do every stitch. I think that'll work better. I do like that it's a thin but vibrant colour. While I'm sure there are many uses for very thin sort of neutrals, in this context having a vibrant colour works very well, so that even though it's thin you can really see it. So I think I might sketch this around, so from the top of this, there we are. Yeah, so this is the last one to go back into here, and then I'll start moving down. Okay, the feathering in this feather is done. Doing the final 2 vertical lines. Just keep it all together. Just as real feathers, they don't sit perfectly, but it is very feathery. Day 8. And we have more cotton. So not green, nutmeg. Also have antique pink. So they're quite tonally similar. So maybe it's time to try up there. So previously with cotton, I tried this one here, and I found I used the full thread, and I found that too thick. So I think a good comparison would be to stick to a cording one, a similar thing, and to use half of them each. And I think I might just draw either side of the ruler to make it nice and easy. And there we are, we've got some parallel lines, and out of interest, yep, they're about 2 centimeters, which is what Lina did in hers. And this one should be nice and quick. Heading up there. Standard approach of getting back through the same thread hole. And this is very nice, but I'm not sure that I notice a huge difference between this and DMC embroidery thread. Whereas the 36 silk and even the 18 silk are like, whoa. And the wool's quite nice. Okay, so there we are. That is the first half in. So this is today's thread, which is the Mercerised cotton in Nutmeg that I have halved before using. And I think just like other DMC embroidery things, once you split it, you have to be careful that you do kind of give it enough of a twist to have its structural integrity. So let's now also use a bit of the antique pink from day 5. So here we have the finished piece from the front, and that's it from the back. So there's not much that comes through. There we are. So day 5 was with the full thread. It was very thick. Day 8 is using 3 threads of each out of the 6, so half the size, and that works much more nicely. I shall leave it there for the moment. This video is already 37 minutes long, and I've had a few technical difficulties this month, so I will conclude the calendar opening and the corset flossing sampler in the new year. If anyone has actually made it this far, please leave a comment below to celebrate. I wish you all a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.